if there's not an easy proxy dock opportunity for either player, we're restarting. Okay. Don't tell them that. If they ask, the other one had a crappy start with no hunt. All right. That's the excuse. Shh, we're not going to tell them, but if it's not a cheesy spawn, then we're not starting. Anyway, here we are. Mountain Crossing, best map in the game. And look at this. Plenty of space to fit in onto this little water line without being seen for both players. So, and you can even chop through 2 trees to get to the water line in time and proxy dock someone. Trust me, I've done it before. Trust me. Anyway, spawning here is player number 1 today. Taz on Twosville is Kelt, and he's taking his early dock. Taking the hunt as well. Game Video, his Babylonian opponent today. And all pretty water effects. Very pretty. Also on the hunt. Also taking the dock. And it's nice having it situated up on this side rather than as far down here as he could have it. Just because it means that he's going to be able to see as far up here as he possibly can. This gives him the best chance of spotting any potential proxy dock. Meanwhile, Taz has his as close to the fish as possible. And I suppose it also means he's close to the wood, so it saves on a ox cart initially. So there's also that. It just means there's a slight travel time there, but it also means there's a reduction in the travel time to the other side, so it does equalize overall. Just means early on he doesn't get as quick of the fishing income because he already has this little travel time. Man, I can hear the street sweeper going past outside. It's bloody late. Anyway, fishing ships coming out for both players, so I'll be interested to see how many they go for, whether or not one of them decides to cut them a little early and maybe expand up here, or go for some early aggression before both of them look at getting on a nice, 1 dock, 2 town center economy. So Taz figuring out he can actually get a proxy dock there. In the meantime, I don't know if Game Video's really had a bit of a look over here. Here we go, he's coming in now. And he's going to have a bit of a check to see what's going on here. And oh, there's plenty of room down there, but what about up on the other side? You can get in completely unscouted, my friend. Better check that out. Yeah, let's check that one out. No? Okay, he doesn't have a look. He doesn't take the time to read that just yet. The meantime, Game Video getting his H2. Taz getting the 3rd house to take his. He's got the food he needs. Wonder if Game Video is going to opt to try and scout this, because there is a gap there. Like I said, if there's only 2 trees, you can actually chop that and go for it there if you wanted to. If you were really desperate, trust me, I've been that desperate in Sparta. I've been pretty desperate, man. I'm a desperate man. Anyway, Game Video taking his H2. Taz is a little bit slower, but not a huge amount slower. Game Video needs to get a house out though. Probably should look at queuing up Loom because he's house. He's got the house in the way, but it's outside of town center range as well, so he's probably going to opt to throw the 2nd town center here maybe. Just because it covers the stone mine, covers the hunt, covers the gold mine, covers the edge of the berries. Maybe even chuck it down next to the gold. That might be a good idea. I didn't stop to see where Game Video Scout went earlier. So Game Video's town center just being restarted, just to get it in the best spot he can. Taz, in the meantime, still working towards his. Neither player having taken the center lake just yet, but Taz getting some spears on the way, so he can start putting some early pressure on. This little scouting spear, he's going to be able to deny this gathering here. Might even pinch these sheep off Game Video. So Game Video, good reaction time there. But Taz, yeah, can pinch those. Spear does go down though, so it doesn't get a huge amount of value out of it. Especially not if those don't get pinched. Neither player's really gone for a proxy dock yet. Come on Taz, I'm disappointed. You can fit a villager in there, surely. Come on Game Video, come on, you got plenty of room here. Oh no, he's distance gathering. Wow, that's really smart from Taz, because it means that Game Video has no opportunity to really get a proxy dock out. Genius. But it also means that he probably just did it because this is going to expire really quickly, and it means that he's not going to have 3 idle ships if they don't notice that they can go there. Anyway, second town center. Game Video is finished. Taz is on the way, but Game Video taking a quick age 3 again. 30 villages to 27 at the moment. But Taz, in the meanwhile, is coming across the map with some infantry of his own. Mixed composition. And he might be able to apply some early pressure to Game Video again. These infantry are going to have to get out of here pretty quickly because they're not going to be able to take on all these ships. House gets denied, but it's not a huge cost to Taz. In the meantime, I mean huge cost to Game Video. In the meantime, Taz is backing off, taking age 3. While this is going on, and this is a good snipe though, because if he can take this out, and I think he's going to be able to get it. Oh, the suspense is building! No! The spear's outside of town center range. This is brilliant. I don't know if Game Video can actually tag fire that just to get that little bit of extra range. But he's actually repairing it while he throws up some other production facilities. So that's smart to do. But I don't think he mustn't be able to reach the spear maybe. Lancer finishes off, but it means that Taz knows all about it. Force a little bit of extra wood out of Game Video in the meantime. Three stables this time from Game Video, so a completely different strategy to the last game. Well, it's sort of a similar strategy in the same vein that he's only producing 1 production facility, but I wonder if Taz is going to be able to deal with this, because he's going to need to get horsemen out, and he's going to need to get words out to deal with the mixed Babylonian stables composition. Because he really needs the words to deal with the mounted archers, he really needs the horsemen to deal with the lancers. Nothing else in the Celt arsenal is going to be able to deal with those units once Game Video gets a good number of them, and if he goes mass lancer, well, all he can really do is just build horsemen now. He is getting some stables of his own on the way. A couple of idlers there, just chilling. A defensive Byreme from Game Video. Don't know if it was necessary. A wall going up there from Taz, but oh, is he gonna get a long segment there? I think he is. No, he doesn't get a long segment. So he's not actually going to be able to throw down a gateway there. A gate. He needed to actually go just slightly further to be able to throw down a gate. He might even look at deleting that. Oh, he's just going to leave it. But there is still a bit of a gap there, I think. Possibly. Surely a unit can fit through there. Surely. big number of Lancers here. I don't know if pharmacology's been researched. No, not yet, but Game Video might just be holding on just because he wants to max out with the Lancers first. Getting an armory in. Villager count 51 to 48, so Game Video just ahead on that. But there's no Lancer champion just yet, so he's going to need to clean up the infantry and get out a couple of times till he gets Lancer champ so he can actually do hit and runs on the horsemen. And then get the mounted archers behind that to actually deal with the horsemen and force Taz to really get something to deal with both mounted archers and to get enough horsemen on top of that to stop the Lancers from just running amok inside his base. Because now it's really crunch time for the Kel player. He needs to slow down the Babylonian, even though the Bab does have a bit of an eco lead over him now. There is Lancer champion on the way, and there's the third town center already finished. I mean, nearly finished for Game Video. Taz is just getting his market now, and his third town center not finished yet, getting a defensive fortress. So this will keep Game Video out for a little bit, but at the same time, oh, and those Lancers just slipped through there. So the scout's going to fall, but now there's a huge number of Lancers, and the villagers pull back. Pharmacology incoming, and purebred as well, so faster. More snare resistant Lancers on top of that. They'll be able to do better hit and runs with their champion upgrade now on the horsemen. So it really gets to be a bit tough for the Kel player for now. Taz is actually caught up in terms of score. And oh, I didn't actually notice this going on. He's got off a really successful horseman raid of his own on Game Video. Just as the mounted archers are popping up, but it wasn't enough to really clean it up. So 58 villagers to 63. Taz does do a bit of damage to Game Video there. He needs to get another ox cart to replace that, but at the same time he is still behind slightly, I think. Population's actually really favouring Game Video right now. So there's just that many more units out for him. And I don't know about the range. I really think Word Raiders are the way to go against the highly mobile double mounted unit, the ranged and cavalry composition. Just because the Words actually give you the speed to catch mounted archers. Not exactly, but at least you're a lot faster with them than with the slingers. And the slingers will be like sitting ducks when the lancers can just charge into them. Couple of spearmen in the mix as well, and this far into the game they start to grow a little bit irrelevant. Temper coming in now for Taz though, so that's going to be a bit of a big boon for him because he's going to have predominantly infantry units in his composition here. He really does need to get some Word Raiders out though, because these mounted archers are going to be able to bring the pain on the horsemen. So the infantry being sent in just to hold off that little bit longer while some more units come in for Taz. So it's really only got a horseman on the way. So the Lancers coming in with their charge attack. And there's a good number of mounted archers behind this, so even though the Lancers are going to fall, the mounted archers are going to be able to clean up most of this, because they are going to be able to counter the horsemen. So there is a slinger just there to defend, but Game Video backing off, healing up. He's 145 pop to 85, so nice 60 pop advantage there. Gardens backed up to one another, so at least it means it's hard to surround an individual garden and take it out. And the gardens in the middle are relatively well protected. Yeah, so set all 7 of the gardens. It's 7, not 6, sorry. All 7 gardens out now for Game Video. Can't take another one till he ages up. And Taz still a bit behind in terms of scoring. He just doesn't have the food to really keep producing the units he needs right now. Because again, those Word Raiders are what's going to really be able to allow him to bring down all this mounted ranged units from Game Video. So Chariot Archers, interesting, they really only counter Priests, don't have any other counters, but they are quite quick. A little bit slower than the rest of the Babylonian army though, but again, just some nice pierce damage, and it is actually a little bit higher than the mounted archers offer. In a sense, there's no multiplier against the cavalry, but they end up with more damage against everything else by quite a bit. So just as long as they don't tend to get caught up here, I don't think there'll be a complete waste here. And that's a huge cavalry composition from Game Video. He's maxed out right now. Taz just going for a bit of a raid with these rams, but Game Video is looking at parking everything up here just to be careful. I think he's actually going to check the dock just to make sure Taz hasn't got it. At the same time, there's these 3 rams actually wearing away at that town center. Taz is going to attempt to try and bring this down, but I think Game Video is going to be able to repair it. The Game Video could be pushing in right now because Taz is nowhere near maxed out, and he's really just checking the map, which is a bit of a shame because he could really push through all this quite quickly, I think. There's really only the 1 fortress, 2 fortresses to defend down here, but all up here is still really ripe for the taking. It just simply isn't enough of Word Raiders or Horsemen to really deal with, really just enough Word Raiders to deal with this mass ranged composition now. And so Chariot Archers are going to get the benefit of those iron wheels. Sorry, my lips are just getting dry. Little Word Raider run by here, but it does unfortunately get seen by the massive cavalry up there. Massive mounted range there, so it's just going to be too much ranged. Even though the words counter them for them to actually win out there, they are going to come in here and try and do a bit of damage inside of Game Video space. So Taz doing what he can to slow down defenses from Game Video. Getting a couple of worker kills too. Worker count 80 to 89. Taz slightly ahead in workers, but Game Video now taking up to age 4. Game Video still has a big army compared to Taz right now, so he really could look at pushing in. I think he just wants to finish this fortress just to make sure. He's expanded onto the dock now, so Taz is going to start to fall behind in terms of economy then, again. So the score had sort of evened up then because Game Video committed to the age 4 a little bit quicker, but now that Taz has done the same, he started to fall behind in terms of score again because you do lose out on all those resources in the bank, getting the score from all that. And now Game Video is going to start to get a bit of an eco lead with that extra water, because now all these water is going to be finished. So Taz deleting his fishing ships. Game Video already has his down, but he's still got this Byreme here. He could have that deleted and have a slightly bigger army. I think because Game Video has taken such a huge route here, he might have lost just a bit too many units. He does have a couple of lances in the mix though, so they can help clean up these words. And he still has a slightly bigger army than Taz at the moment, but that fight could have gone a lot better for him. He went into that with a huge, not a huge, but a reasonable population lead over his opponent, although in saying that, he had a big population lead over Taz for a while there. Game Video seems to really have all the map control, but Taz seems to be fairly safely hunkered down right now. Could you fit a unit in there, or is Taz this good at walling that there's nothing that can really break through him? He just saves that much. He's like watching a Brood War Pro wall off in yeah, the first StarCraft, with the ridiculous walls in that game and the ridiculous unit and building collision mechanics. Well, these mounted archers perhaps overextending a bit here, but some nice micro. And here we go, there's some Lancers in the mix here to deal with the Word Raiders. Some Chariot Archers at the back line to get some nice mixed range, yeah, range damage against everything. I think the words, do they have armor? Yeah, the words have reasonable pierce armor though, so it's not quite like bringing down the spearmen or the slingers or what have you. Oh, game video stacking his forces up right on top of one another. Perhaps not the best idea when he's this close to the fortress. But I think he might be able to punch through. Oh, Taz has actually managed to get ahead in terms of population. He's 95 villages to 82. And he is at with his 4th town center a little bit quicker than game video here, so it's really good for him with on the defense. Getting his iron smelting upgrade, but he is getting a bunch of carpentums out, so it's interesting to see him make that choice. The carp's going to be good damage against all these ranged units, and once they get the champion upgrade, it'll be interesting to see if Taz can make use of some good splash on all these ranged units that game video seems to really enjoy stacking up on top of one another. So the wall's down, the market's pretty dangerous spot right now, but game video is still down in terms of army population, so Taz taking a bit of an economic hit here, but I think he can't afford to for the time being because he is still slightly up in terms of worker count, up in terms of population. Fortress going up. I don't know. Taz must have a lot of idle units somewhere, because he's well up in terms of population at the moment. I suppose he can just have that many units in queue too. That could probably be it. Because game video seems to really be pushing quite well into Taz here, despite being down in terms of population. But there is a fortress there to defend, so it's going to be hard for game video to really poke from this angle. He could try and push into here, maybe get these houses. He's trying to wall off the mid-map himself. And a lot more brave of a wall here. It's like right up to his halfway, whereas Taz all the way back here. And there is some gaps in this wood line too, so game video finally forced to flee, even though he's down 40 population. Taz, yeah, was really the defender there against game video with that big population lead, so must be all those carpenters and horsemen in QA. There's a big fight going down here, and the carpenters are going to get really good damage off on this range composition. War chariots in the mix for game video though, so they are going to have a big benefit against the carpenters now. They are an extremely tanky unit with 850 health. So the only thing that can really stop them again is the Woads. So Taz is going to need to get back on Woad Raiders to deal with those. As well as, yeah, get his Carpenter champion out. So, but they are a 4-pop unit, these war chariots. So game video now is all the way back up to only... actually slightly ahead of Taz in terms of population. Worker count 88 to 80. Lance is going in on the spears, so bit of an interesting melee here for the players. Some workers in there just as well, but Taz dropping a bit of population, rocketing back up to 200 now. Both players in good economic shape at the moment. Game video does, yeah, still have this water advantage over his opponent. Taz is eventually going to run out of resources in his little patch here, but he is on this little gold mine to the south here, so I wonder if game video knows about this. No, he doesn't even know about the gold mine down there at all. The game video now pushing into his opponent's base. Taz with a small population lead, but both players getting as much in the queue as they can here while they take this fight. Good number of the war chariots against all this range from Taz, which just has so much less health than it. And Lancers going in against Spearmen, against Horsemen, and because they've got this champion, they can actually take reasonable fights against the Horsemen. And Game Video is really managing to push into Taz's base once again. Getting Palatone on the way as well. A couple of Lancers just idle at the back, but it's not a huge problem at the moment, I don't think. So Ram here, a couple of Rams here of Taz's, and they're just really just tanking shots just to buy the fortresses some time. These super tanky chariots. And one of the fortresses falls, but Taz still up to 90 villages. Both players on 88 villages actually. Another one joins the mix, but Taz taps out, and GG, we go into game number 3. Alright, fuck yeah. Oh, I forgot something. Whoops. Well, it looks like Game Video has to go, so one day we will do the conclusion. So we're at 1-1 today, and unfortunately guys, our good friend Game Video is a little bit busy, has to go do some stuff, so we're gonna have to cut this one short. No game number 3, but I'll do a bit of a stats wrap up. Alright, well both players jumping off, but yeah. Bit of an interesting game. I thought we'd see a bit of cheese there, but we didn't. I was a bit sad about that, but at the same time, really solid macro in the late game there from both players actually, I think. But Taz, I think, probably could have got more in the way of words to try and deal with these war chariots. Because if he goes for the Carpentums, it's basically using just a less efficient unit into the war chariots, unless the chariots are like perfectly stacked up. But yeah, GG guys. Let's have a look at the stats. So Game Villager was slightly better. Game Video was slightly better villager production, and overall the gathering was really neck and neck there. Game Video only slightly behind on that. Oh yeah, wow, that's closer than I thought it'd be. Actually, I thought Taz would have a slightly bigger lead than that actually. But yeah, GG guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you around. I think I'm going to head to bed because it's about 3 AM.